Good morning everyone. Today we are going to discuss about clotting of blood. Now in your class 10 syllabus you have clotting of blood. Now today we are going to discuss about the clotting of blood. Now clotting of blood is also called coagulation of blood. Clotting is also called coagulation. Now what does this mean? Now clotting of blood means, now when there is any injury, I hope we all have observed that when there is any injury in our body, now at that site of injury, the tissue and cells get damaged and the blood vessel there also gets ruptured. And due to this rupture or damage of the blood vessels, blood comes out. That means bleeding takes place. Now we will see, or we have observed that after a few minutes, that bleeding gets stopped or the flow of blood is stopped. Now how it is stopped? Now it is stopped at the site of injury by a mechanism or a process which is called clotting of blood. So we are going to discuss that what and about how this clotting of blood takes place. So we have discussed what is clotting of blood. That means the stopping or the stoppage of the flow of blood from the site of injury by a process called clotting or coagulation of blood. Now next question is, how does it take place and who is responsible for this? Now we know in blood there are three types of blood corpuscles. Number one is RBC or erythrocytes, number two is WBC or leukocytes, and number three is platelets also called thrombocytes. Now these platelets or thrombocytes are the third type of blood corpuscle which is responsible for the process of clotting. So the main function of thrombocytes is they help in the process of clotting. Now next question is that how does this mechanism of the process of clotting takes place? Now so we are going to discuss how thrombocytes help in the process of the mechanism of clotting of blood. Now you can see on the board on the left hand side, the mechanism of the clotting of the coagulation process is given. The first, at the site of injury. At the site of injury means the place or the location in our body where the injury has occurred. Now at that site or place, the injured tissue or cells means the place where the tissue or the cells have got damaged and eventually the blood vessel there has also got damaged. Now what will happen? Now there platelets or thrombocytes are present. These platelets will release a chemical substance called thromboplastin. So platelets will release a chemical substance called thromboplastin, also called thrombokinase. THROMBO, thrombokinase, KINS. So a chemical substance called thrombokinase, also called thromboplastin, will be released by the platelets or the thrombocytes at the site of injury. Now, what is the function of this thromboplastin? Now, this thromboplastin helps in the conversion of prothrombin into thrombin. As you can see here, the second step is from prothrombin, which is the inactive form, it gets converted into thrombin, active form. Now, what is prothrombin? Now, prothrombin is a protein, inactive protein present in blood plasma. We know that the liquid portion of the blood is called plasma. So within the plasma of the blood, this prothrombin is present in inactive form. Now thromboplastin, with the help of calcium ions, that means in the presence of calcium ions, prothrombin, the inactive form, is converted into thrombin or active. So thrombin is the active form of the prothrombin protein. Now thrombin, it is enzymatically active form. What is the function of thrombin? Thrombin will now convert fibrinogen into fibrin. Now there will be, now in the third step is conversion of fibrinogen into fibrin. What is fibrinogen? Fibrinogen is a soluble protein present in the blood plasma. As fibrinogen is converted into fibrin, which is the insoluble form of the protein. So thrombin is enzymatically active form of prothrombin. This thrombin converts or changes fibrinogen into fibrin. So fibrinogen soluble form is changed into insoluble protein. So soluble protein present in the blood plasma called fibrinogen is converted into fibrin, insoluble form of protein present in the blood plasma. Okay. Now here we can see that calcium ions also play a very important role in the process of clotting. That is fibrin or the insoluble form of the protein. It forms a network of threads. You can see I have written here network of threads. What is this network? A fibrin threads are forming a network, that is mesh. It forms a mesh-like structure. So within this mesh-like structure or network, RBCs are getting trapped. So the fibrin network are trapping, that means they are blocking the RBCs, and as a result a clot formation takes place. So this clot is plaque. The clot formation means a plaque formation takes place where at the site of injury, that means where the injury has occurred, at that area a clot or plaque formation takes place. How? With the help of the fibrin network and by trapping RBCs. So the blood flow will now get stopped. Now this clot formation, this clot is also called thrombus formation. Okay. So thrombus formation or clot formation takes place at that site of injury, as a result of which blood formation is blood flow or the loss of blood is stopped. Okay, eventually. So in this way the process of clotting takes place. As soon as the clot formation takes place at the site of injury, no more blood will flow or come out. As you can see, after a few minutes the bleeding stops. Now what happens after clot formation? Now as the thrombus is formed, it will now squeeze out the rest of the plasma. So rest of the plasma from the site of injury is squeezed out after the formation of thrombus or clot. Now that plasma is called serum. That plasma is called serum. Now what is serum and why it is called serum, not plasma? Because in this remaining plasma, fibrinogen is not present. So serum is plasma without fibrinogen. If we write serum, what is serum? It is plasma minus fibrinogen. That means fibrinogen is no more present in serum because it has been utilized in the process of clot formation or thrombus formation. So after that the remaining plasma is called serum. That means it is devoid of the protein fibrinogen. So serum is plasma without fibrinogen. So this was an idea of how the clotting process takes place. So we have discussed that what is clotting, which is also called coagulation, who is responsible, platelets or the thrombocytes are responsible for the process of clotting. Now how clotting takes place, that is what is the mechanism of the process of clotting that we have discussed. Now thromboplastin is the main factor, the key factor responsible for the process of clotting, and how it is helping in the conversion of prothrombin into thrombin, how thrombin is helping in the conversion of fibrinogen into fibrin, which is the insoluble solid substance, which forms a network or mesh, and by trapping RBCs, it forms a clot or thrombus, and by this way it prevents the loss of blood or bleeding from the site of injury, and how after the thrombus formation the rest of the plasma is squeezed out in the form of serum. So we have discussed all. Okay, so this was for today's class. Okay, thank you.